Travis.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, man, you're always invited. So you're part of the family, and enjoy talking to you up in Cleveland. And I know you know Braden for a while, and yeah, just glad you're here. So what we're doing is we're Funnel Friday kind of for our group, and we talk about building out funnels systems. Not so much doesn't matter if it's KV Core, Lofty, or whatever it is. Go high level. Most of all of these agents are in KV Core, and I think you started in KV Core, so we'll talk about that. I'll kind of turn it over to you and Braden, but I just wanted to thank you. Keep that link. You're invited every Friday at 1:30, and love to help you out along the way.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, man. Good stuff.
Right on. So, I don't know, how long ago was it that we started working together?
A year ago, October 1st, I think probably middle of September, really.
Yeah,
But
I think we had a little bit of I think maybe first 30 days with a little bit of a slow start. So give or take about a year. And did you get a chance to kind of look at your numbers on how many deals we've got under contract or closed from that?
yeah, I did. Um, so I got 7 on paper here. Um, and let's see, 1, 2, 3. 4 of those were actually houses I sold, but they came in from buyer leads.
That were listings?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And was there a buy on the backside of any of those?
No, not on the
So those
backside of that.
people just moving out of the area?
Yep, exactly.
Gotcha. Let's take a look, if you don't mind. I think I can make you no, I don't think I can. Can we make Travis the co-host? I would like to see what we've spent in terms of ad spend. And if you could share your screen.
Yeah. Let's see here. Give me just a second. I'll get it on there and I'll share the screen. Let's see. Skip that one.
Okay. Let me request remote control access if you don't mind.
Nope.
And then, so is this it here? The just listed, right?
Yeah, we did just listed. We tried new construction for a little bit and
I think I remember that we didn't have.
real good luck with new construction.
Gotcha. So our total ad spend on that looks like somewhere around 3,500, which is kind of what we say over the course of a year, around 3,600 bucks, $300 a month, right? Give or take. And so out of that, do you know, I'm curious to know the volume. The amount of transactions is one thing, but volume is really where, in my opinion, that kind of makes the difference here on, if we're doing a
Like
ton
volume,
of, yeah,
like
well,
how
do
much they
what?
sold for altogether. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, out of those 7, what was the volume on those?
1,633,000.
1 million. So that would be, hold on, 1 point what? Say that again.
1.633, 1,633,000.
1 point. Okay.
So 80%. So I got 3% on all of those. And then I did 80%, what 80% looked like. And that was 39,192.
So pretty much a 10x on return on investment. Cool. Pretty good. And do you think you have anything else that you're currently working? Or deals to be done in the future from any of the leads that you've got in the system?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm working with some more sellers right now, people interested in some cash offers on their home. I've got one
Okay.
lady who I'm getting a offer ready for, but she has 5 other houses she wants to sell, and
Good
she came
Lord.
from the funnel pilot.
Yeah.
Um, I've got a handful of people that I've already got buyer brokerage agreements with. Just waiting, trying to find them the right place, right time.
Right.
Getting their credit up, one thing, yeah,
Cool.
there's a lot of stuff working still
Hey,
off that.
one thing I want to point out real quick here, and also is in your price point is considerably, it's kind of low for the average for around the country. So great job on
Really low for the area, right? I think what is the average price point? That's kind of why I wanted to talk about volume, guys. What is your average price point there? And
150,000 is a medium price in Lawton.
Yeah, see, so and how long you been licensed, Travis?
A year and a half,
And how long you been doing funnels?
1 year.
Okay, so see, that's the reason I point that out is good for you. Try to overcome some mental objections agents may have. Like they might be going, well, this guy's rock star, man. He's been doing this 10 years and this, that, and the other. So fantastic job for as long as you've been licensed and as long as you've been doing funnels. But yeah, and yeah,
100%.
that's amazing.
What would the big thing I always, like to ask agents when it comes to running these funnels and generating leads and converting them, what would be the one thing that you would say, I guess just say it this way, looking back, one thing you would want to hear, when you first started out running these funnels that you kind of realized was maybe the game changer or really what, made this work for you?
And I would say non-negotiable time calling the leads.
And making that call,
Yeah.
as quick as possible as soon as that lead comes in.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely lead that too. But just for. Calling them. I mean, to be honest, lately I've been a little busy and I hadn't got to call like I should, and I can see a difference. So you have to set that time aside and work them. I think
Yeah.
I think if I really got disciplined, all my business could come from the funnels and the lofty and
Right.
stuff. It's killer.
Yeah. It's a common theme, right, guys, that we hear is calling the leads. And, we try to do everything that we can in terms of automation to get the engagement, whether that's the engagement to get to a conversation or, I always kind of looked at it as, if I'm getting some engagement from a lead, I'm probably more likely to call that lead, right? But at the end of the day, relationships are not really cultivated through texting and emailing, right? We have to get on the phone with them. We have to have a conversation. We have to start cultivating that relationship. And that just seems to be the common theme with each of the agents that we bring on here is that the game changer for them is picking up the phone, right? And I think the quicker you pick up the phone and make calls, the higher you'll see that conversion rate. And the big piece about that, guys, is it's easy to hear that and say, okay, well, yeah, I need to make more calls. But what are we realistically doing to ensure that's happening? And the one thing that I would mention is going to time blocking, right? Are we time blocking time in our day to day every week, whether that's at different times of the day or the same time every day, at least dedicating a certain amount of time where we're time blocking that in the system and making sure it's happening. And I would be just curious to say, I would say there's probably a good percent of agents that probably just get to doing it whenever they get around to doing it. But I would challenge you. My challenge to you is this next coming week, why don't you go ahead, either today or, by this weekend, go ahead and set 3 or 4 times aside, hard set times in your calendar next week that you're going to dedicate 30 minutes or an hour of cold calling or making calls to these leads, whether it's your prospects. You should have your active leads should have a task set on when the next time you're following up with them. So it really should be calling through the prospects, but and just see what that does to your engagement and your contact rate of how many people you get in touch with. And I think you'll see that, you'll be having more conversations, you'll be cultivating relationships and ultimately converting more leads. But Dan, that's really all I've got on that. It seems common theme, right? Make the calls.
Yep.
And follow up too.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, we can ask Travis a few other questions about, like getting started. Did it just like, your first call, if they pick up the phone and you go show them a house and everything's, talk to me a little
No.
about fighting through the struggle if you had it in the beginning.
Um, no, they're definitely not. That's so I guess that's where that follow-up comes in. A lot of people aren't interested, um, you know, but to me, whenever they say no, that just means not right now. You know, it's going to be a yes eventually. So then you've got to set up the right things to get your follow up going. Um, and so just learning the CRM was a big step. You know, getting those smart drips and stuff ready to send out and sending out the right ones to the right people. But yeah, you just can't. I would say, one of the things, I used to get frustrated whenever I first started, whenever people were rude or whenever they'd say no or act like, why are you calling me and stuff, but I heard Braden's dad, Jay, talk about, make it a game, like make it fun. If you can't make it a game, make it fun, then what are you even doing here? So I started looking at it from a different perspective and making it fun and setting out 30 contacts and seeing how many I could get to answer each day out of that and keep my same attitude, my same height, be enthusiastic. People like enthusiasm, be excited about it.
100%.
So
Cool. Anything else you feel like is something you would need to hear or want to hear as you were getting going with this, or if you were in the midst of it?
um just make sure you call the leads, you know. That's
Yeah.
that's that's the biggest thing. Get them on the phone and talk to them, see what their goals are, you know. Use scripts, you know. Don't just get on there blindly, have a plan that kind of goes around. I don't know if you are running new construction funnels or what it is, but have a new construction script. Have something ready. It doesn't hurt. I'm running the just listed and I have it right here beside me at all times, even when I'm calling now, just in case I get stuck, you know, just something. So I would say
All right.
that. Go ahead, Braden.
Yeah, no, that's good. The scripts are good, right? I've always said that they've got some good talking points in there, but really the end goal is, that's what I've always looked at it as, is what is the end goal when I get on a call with a lead? Well, there's a couple things that I need to know to be able to, what I call, service a lead. I need to know what their specific criteria is so I can get that search alert set up, make sure I'm sending them properties. But I also need to know their time frame, because I'm big on setting tasks. As everybody knows, I like to see the task set. I want to know what their time frame is so I can refer back to my best practices document. And based on that time frame, when am I following back up with this lead, right? Whether that's a 1 week follow-up task, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week, or a 3 month, depending on where they're at. And if I don't determine those two pieces, I've been on the phone I've been on calls with agents recently, where they let people get away without getting time frame or without getting specific criteria. They told them, oh, they were just looking. Okay, well, one thing I always said is, if you ask it one way and you don't get the answer, ask it a different way, right? We can't let these people get off the phone without getting that information. If somebody tells me they're just looking, okay, well, tell me a little bit about what you're looking for specifically, right? Ask it a different way. Oh, well, I'm not really sure when I'm looking to make a move. Well, if you had a magic wand and you could be moved in at the perfect time, what does that look like to you? What time frame does that look like for you? Right. And so asking things a little bit differently and not letting people, I've always referred to it as kind of like, you're playing basketball and you drive the lane and they're checking you. Don't let these people check you off. Right. Ask it a different way, because if you don't get those two pieces of information, you don't have the information that you need to be able to service the lead. And I think if you focus on doing that alongside, kind of what he was talking about, being enthusiastic, really trying to cultivate the relationship, coming from a standpoint of I'm just trying to help you solve your problems, which is get you a list of homes that fit the criteria you're looking for. I think all that goes a long ways.
That's super important. Also, you know, Travis, my journey through working this process for years is understanding that once I figured out their timing and motivation, which half of that can be done with are you currently renting or do you have a home to sell? Because a lot of times if they are renting, then their motivation just magically happens to be at the end of their lease, right? So then, you know, then it's not really they're avoiding me. It's no, their lease ends in the end of June. That's why I'm not getting a lot of traction with this client, right? So the quicker we can get the timing and motivation, the quicker that we can set really good tasks or really good follow-ups and know who to follow up with and why. So that helped me a lot. In the beginning, I thought they were avoiding me. They weren't avoiding me. The timing wasn't right.
Right.
One thing I'll mention, guys, that you could do today, and I would be doing this periodically. I always say doing it about every 2 to 3 weeks. This is going to go to, you know, the importance of why we're dispositioning leads. But if it was me, something that you could do today that might, you know, generate some conversation is go to your smart CRM, so your list of all the leads, okay, and filter out all your prospects. This is going to be all the people that you've yet to be in touch with, okay? You never got a response through text. You never got a response through email. You never made contact with them through the phone, which is why they're dispositioned as a prospect. Of course, if you haven't been doing a good job of that, this is going to make this next part difficult, which is, you know, what you should have been doing along the way is putting them into prospect. But so if you haven't done that, do that first. But once you get them all into prospect, do the mass text. You can specify on your filters, I want to look at all prospects, right? And then you can bulk select all of those prospects and shoot out a mass text. A good one that I always have used is, hey, if I was, and this is only kind of really works in situations where you've got new construction, which I think a large percentage of the agents that are on here are running new construction for the most part. Even if you're not running new construction, you can still send this text if you have this option or opportunity, I guess, if you will, in your market, which is, you know, using their builder, the lender's builder or the builder's lender, excuse me. You know, you can get a lower rate, right? And so this is going to be specific and dependent on your market. But let's say, for instance, you know, we use their lender and we're going to get a 3.99 fixed rate. A good text that you could send out is, hey, if I was able to help you get an interest rate under 4% or under 5% or whatever is specific to your market, right? If I was able to help you to get an interest rate under whatever percent when purchasing a new home, would you be interested in seeing how that's possible? Question mark. Boom, send the text, right? And I guarantee you're going to stir up some conversation, because what we find is that when a lead comes in that may be 3, 6 months, 9 months out, a year, you know, maybe they're not really willing to have a conversation right now because they know in the back of their mind, hey, I'm so far out that I don't really want to have a conversation. But if you've been doing this for several months, and some time frame has passed, right? Some time has passed, you know, they may be more willing to have that conversation now. And that's a pretty strong call to action on, hey, you know, solving really a big problem in a lot of buyers' minds is, I don't want to take a higher interest rate. So when you come from that angle and say, hey, you know, if I was able to help you, you know, purchase a new home with a lower interest rate, it typically gets a pretty good response. And I suggest doing that mass text every 2 to 3 weeks, because every 2 to 3 weeks we're closing in on a lot of these leads time frame that may have been 3 months out when they first came in or 6 months out when they first came in. And so you can get creative with that text message. I believe that with KB Core, they have some AI generated responses you could look through to give you some prompts, some ideas on what else you could say if you didn't want to use the one that I just suggested. But I'd be doing that every 2 to 3 weeks alongside making the calls, but doing that every 2 to 3 weeks to see if I can stir up some conversation as you get further along into, you know, some of these people's time frames that, like I said, maybe didn't want to have a conversation in the beginning, but maybe more willing to have a conversation as we move further down the line.
That's good. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna throw some out here in a bit.
Yeah. And what I would do is, what should happen, right, as you send that text, let's say we send it to 50 people, let's say maybe only 5 of those respond. It may not be very many, it may be a few. Regardless, 5 of those now should move into active lead. right? Now we've got 45 prospects. What I would do is I'd come in, because who knows, maybe that's a landline, maybe that's on a do not call list and the text wasn't able to go through. Now that I know, okay, these 5 are an active lead, I'm going to refilter my list of prospects and I'm going to send an email out with similar copy of what I said. And I'm going to send it to their email and see if I can get a response through email to the rest of those leads, right? That I didn't get a response through from text, but I would see who responds through text first, give it, 10, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, get a response, take the conversations that come through on text and then, then refilter your list once you've got those dispositioned as active lead and hit a mass email out, right? What we talk about hitting them land, sea, and air, right? Hitting them from all different angles. So that's something I would be doing every 2 to 3 weeks, just trying to drum up some conversation, some engagement from some of these leads that we've yet to make contact with. I will say that does not take place of making the calls though, right? Your best bet is always, making a call, hitting your list of prospects with phone calls, but it can, I've seen it almost, I would say almost every time that we've sent those mass texts out, we've got at least a handful of people that are responding that came in months ago or weeks ago that hadn't responded to anything that finally surfaced. So that's something you could do today to potentially get some conversation going before the weekend.
It's really good too, because now you're doing more than, as Braden said, more than one approach. Also, I was shocked this about 2 weeks ago. I was in a new neighborhood doing a YouTube video, and toward the end of it, I went to the QR code at the front of the neighborhood, which I should have done at the beginning of the video, and I scanned it because I knew the rates were down. I was guessing it was maybe 4.99 from the builder, and it was 4.50. And I was sitting there going, I cannot believe 4.50. I mean, that's a pretty strong interest rate for new construction homes in Metro Atlanta, right? So just just that alone, if I put that out there like Braden's telling me to do, I could probably get a lot people interested in hearing about how I could help them get a 4.5% fixed 30-year interest. That's not a buy down either. It's 30-year fixed on selected homes. But just get me in a conversation that I wouldn't get in if I was just calling them to see, what they were doing this weekend.
That's the thing to take into consideration, is really understanding your market and really understanding kind of the perception of buyers in your market. And that's really kind of as a whole across the board. That's not really too market specific, but nobody wants to take a high interest rate, right? And that's why that copy works on that text, is because it's speaking directly to their belief system around, what is the reason I'm not purchasing? In their mind, they know it's, well, I think interest rates are too high. And when you have a solution to that, that's the reason why that works. The point I'm getting at is that's just a principle of, there's other things that are limiting beliefs that people have that you may be able to come up with a solution for and send a mass text around, right? Whether that's talking about price reductions, hey, if I was able to send you a list of all the price reduced homes in the area that fit your criteria, would you be open to getting that list? Oh, you would be interested in that? Okay. Maybe price point is something to them. So there's multiple different ways you can come with, solutions to what some thoughts or beliefs that people have as to why they're not purchasing right now, so get creative with that. Like I said, the AI prompts in KB Core, you can use those to get some ideas as well, but understanding your market and understanding what are some things that buyers may not know about that, is going to solve their problems or have a solution to what some of their belief systems may be, is big as well. And that's market specific for the most part, but something I'd mention.
All right, anyone have any questions today for Travis or Braden or James or myself or Andre? I think Andre's on here. Yeah.
Hey guys. Oh, I didn't raise my hand. I'm sorry. This is Doreen.
Thank you.
Come
on. Is this specific to buyers, or is it whatever you get on the other end and you determine from there?
Is it specific to buyers? I mean, kind of understanding the way the copy is said, right? Which is access this list of homes, that is speaking kind of buyer language, right? But, a lot of times with the new construction, we're seeing about 30 to 40% of the time that they have a property that they need to sell, and it's conditional to one thing or a couple things, but the main thing it's conditional to is, what are the price points of your new construction? A lot of times, for most markets, new construction is not always going to be your first time home buyer price point. So with that being said, it should be a move up buyer, you know, unless the other thing that you take into consideration is what is your percentage of out of state buyers coming in, right? Which is obviously going to skew that a little bit in terms of being able to take a listing if they're coming from out of state, which it could be a referral though. But you know, on the front end, it is targeting, you know, the buy side because we're offering them a list of homes. But, you know, truth be told, like I said, depending on your price point, they should have a property to sell a good portion of that time, as long as your price point is high enough for new construction in that scenario. If that answers your question. Of
It did. Thank you.
course.
Hey, Doreen, what city are you in? You in Atlanta or just near Atlanta?
I'm in Cobb County.
County. Georgia.
New construction in Cobb County, so
I'm sorry.
we have lots of new construction in Cobb County and surrounding areas.
Yeah,
so-
we do. Right here in Kennesaw, Marietta.
Yeah, you'll be fine there. And go back in Agent Builders. You can watch last week's Funnel Friday where we talk about some free lead strategy. If you need help with that, let us know. Be happy to help you.
I need all the help I can get.
I love that. Me too. I tell people that all the time. Don't get it twisted. I need help.
My question, hi everyone. Oh,
Hello.
I didn't raise my hand either. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Good.
My question was about the mass texting. What do you use? What are some of the products you use for that?
You'd be doing that through KV Core. Do you have KV Core?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so kind of going into your KV Core over on the left-hand side, you have your, I think it's phrased differently in different accounts. I've seen it. Smart CRM or all contacts, I think are the two different ones. And
Okay.
from there, you would be able to access all of your contacts. From there, you would need to specify what list you're looking at, right? Am I wanting to look at prospects, my active leads, or whatever, your filters? And I was talking about making sure that we're looking at prospects to send that mass text out, because essentially that would be, you know, per the process, any of your active leads should have a task on when you're following up with them next. So we should never really be sending mass text to any of our active leads due to the fact that we should know the next time we're following up with our active lead, right?
Right.
Because that task is set. So it should really be just your prospects that you're filtering there. And then there's a little checkbox at the top of that you can check that'll select really to get in depth with it. Over on the right hand side, there's going to say how many rows are we looking at, right? It goes to 250 rows. So, you know, you would want to make sure that that is including all of your rows that, and if you have more than 250, you may have to do this twice. But let's just say we have 200 contacts that are in prospect. We would want to make sure we're looking at 250 rows, right? And then we would select all 200 of those with the bulk select tool, the little checkbox at the left-hand corner. And then you would hit mass text. That's up there as well. There's a button that says mass text or mass email. And then you could go ahead and select that there and then come up with your text that you would want to send to them.
Great. Thank you.
Yep. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
it does.
Cool.
Hey, Travis, thanks again for hopping on here. Braden, I'm going to let you wrap this up whenever you guys want to. I got to get onto a coaching call, but I appreciate you, Travis. Reach out if I can ever do anything for you. And thanks, everybody, for attending.
Thanks, Dan. Nice meeting everybody. See y'all later.
Thank you.
Anything else, guys, before we wrap this up? Anything at all? As always, I'm happy to help in any way I can. If you got any questions, always feel free to reach out to me. If you feel like you're not getting the results you should be, I would say that as I've looked at a lot of agents' accounts, you know, a lot of KV cores helped a lot of agents. I would say that the more meticulous you are with following the conversion process, it seems inevitable that the conversion rate goes up. And so I would be studying that conversion process and the best practices document and knowing it like the back of my hand and really just being clear on, is there anything in there that I'm missing or could be getting better at? And I think I know the better that you get at that conversion process, the better your conversion rate will be. So that's all I've got, guys. Anything else before we wrap this up? All right.
Hey,
I
one quick, sorry, Braden.
go ahead.
So I'm new to EXP. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. And
Welcome. Nice to have you
I
here.
thank you. So I'm assuming there's like a training, to show you, how to implement these funnels and that whole thing.
So depending on who your sponsor is, I set these funnels up for people. There is training, the conversion process video, which is going to be training you on how to use KV Core. If you don't have that training video, we need to get that to you. That also comes with the best practices document with the scripts in it as well. And so depending on who's your sponsor.
Yeah,
James.
she's
Yeah,
good. She's
she
good.
good? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, all that's gonna get taken care of, Doreen.
Okay.
Then we'll be meeting soon, it sounds like.
Looking forward to it.
All right, guys. James, you got anything?
Nah, man, I appreciate everybody for jumping on and getting this information. And I mean, if you haven't got your stuff going, you want to go ahead and get it going. If you need to meet up with Braden or me or Dan or Andre or whatever, just to go ahead and reach out to us. We're open book and we're here to help you grow your business. So enjoy y'all Friday. Appreciate you, Braden. Holla at everybody.
All right, guys. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great weekend. Y'all let me know if y'all need anything from me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for hopping on the webinar today with Braden Kinder, James Massey, and myself. What I'd like for you to do, if you want to, is hop on my calendar for about a 10, 15-minute. I block off 20 minutes on the call, but it's usually like 5-10 minute call, a strategy call. Be happy to answer any questions, tell you exactly how the program works, tell you about the free version, the low cost version, and well, it's the no cost. I don't like saying free, but no cost version, low cost version, and then how we can help you with consistent lead flow, consistent, predictable closings, adding about 1 to 2 closings additional to what you're doing a month to your pipelines. Very realistic. A lot more to the program than we talked about today in the meeting. We also have weekly trainings. We have one-on-one. We have call groups. We have anything and everything you need to help you to be successful in this market and just to thrive. So give me a call, you can give me a call, 678-907-1853. Or hop on my calendar. You can scan the QR code or just go to dansleadsclass.com/call. Schedule a call. Happy to talk to you, see if I can help you in your real estate business, and glad to help you any way I can. So hop on my calendar or give me a call. Talk to you soon.